Let me just check. That's better sound, right. That is the sound. Let me get the chat up. Hello, if you've already put messages in there. Here we go. Testing sound 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Excellent. Okay, right. Looks like we're live. Fantastic. And let me just check on something here. Hey Matt, how you doing? Jeff, good to see you, Jeff. All right. Hopefully. Vinyl Sloth, good to see you. Hope everybody's okay. Right, that's hopefully that's not too bright. It's so difficult to get the light levels right. If I did that one back on, is that too bright? There's a bit of glare going on here. Peter, it's going well, thank you. And let me just check one thing over here. Hang on. Whoa. Oh my god. Baba, good to see you. I don't know what's going on with the light levels today. It's like my face is exploding. If I do that, that's kind of alright. I can't hold. Johnny, good to see you. I've even reduced the brightness on here. Good to see you. Right, maybe that one back on over there. That's the problem. If my yeah, that'll do. Oh blimey. A question: what is the paper type used for mapping in 2d6 Realms? What's it called? Yeah, dot grid, dot graph, dot. I mean, I call it dot grid, really. Sam, good to see you. Are you having a sunny day there? No, it's pitch black. It is 10 p.m. And English, and in the middle of the winter, and so we don't have a lot of light during the winter. It gets dark round about 4, and then light about 7:30 in the morning. So I'm just really glowy. Why is it so glowy on my lighting here? It's really irritating. It looks much brighter, and because the light levels are funny, it's focusing a bit more. I was trying to stay a bit still. I'm quite I move around a lot, so trying to keep it still. Yeah. So no, it's 10 p.m. I know it's earlier over in America. This is why I do it. Well, if I did it earlier, then you guys over there in America would be in bed. So seeing the majority, a lot of the viewers, a lot of the players are based in America. I try and do the streams later in my evening so that I can catch you guys. Yeah. So it's 2 p.m. for Jeff over there. Looks a little like sunshine streaming through a window. No kidding. It looks like it, but there isn't any. It's just like a. It's just one little light. It's just that the camera is quite a good camera, so it takes in the light, and I should be able to control that. In fact, there's a little ring light around the camera that I can turn on, and if I do, it's even brighter. You see? No, we don't want that. Sometimes it looks like it's the perfect level, and then it just I don't know what's happening. And then I can play around with the balance. Whoa! Nasu, how are you doing? Let's put that back up. Oh, I can go black and white. The really serious stream. This is when I get serious. We go black and white, and then we can go like toxic. There's I don't know. I really don't. Oh! That's yeah. Anyway, or sepia, black and white suits you. I do just fine, thanks. Good. So today, what I'm going to do is go over the update. Well, there's not really too much to update about. Basically, I have been working largely. Blue-eyed geek, Vincent, good to see you. And I have been working on now the colours are just completely gone. Oh well. So I've been working on the tables, slogging away on that. It's coming together really nicely. I feel like I'm going to be able to isolate the rules and have let's have that there. That's better. Isolate the rules, and so I can kind of say that they're finished, and then have the tables finished. The first tier of land encounter tables. So tables that you will encounter first. So it would be like the woodland tables, or the ruins tables. The first layer of table that you encounter, and then within those you may just get a straight out encounter, or you may go through to another table, and it's that second tier of tables which is going to take longer, because ultimately, as I'm designing the encounters, I'm like thinking, well, I could have a table for that, or I could have a table for that, I could have a table for that, and that will add more depth. And I'm like, that'll be really cool, and I can use that there and use that there, and then I feed that into other encounters on the land encounter tables, and then it kind of takes a bit longer, you know. So I'm feeling like I'm in a good place. I feel like when I sit down to write the tables, there's loads coming out still, so that's really positive. That's all there. And then as I'm doing it, I'm creating NPCs and ancestries, which we're going to have a look at the new ancestry, which I finished off today. Hey Frank, good to see you, my friend. And Nick, good to see you, Nick. Excellent. And they are they're part of the tables. So as I'm doing the tables, I need narrative to make the entries for the tables, and so it expands the lore, and sometimes I go off on a tangent, but it really enriches it and it gives it some more stuff. And I'm thinking with the ancestries in particular, I kind of want to make sure that I have encounters in the tables that take advantage of their special skills. So it's going to be like for the Tarians are water based people. Yeah, well, they don't breathe in the water. They tend to live on shores or on islands or on kind of platforms, and they're very at one with water, and their main food is a type of seaweed, if you like, which is kind of like they transformed them into these creatures you see here. So, Brian, good to see you. I'm in a really good place, so feeling really positive about it all, and we're charging on. So, hopefully, say in about a week, I'll have the land encounter tables done, I feel, and I'm going to send those out to the testers at that point. Now, I know that I haven't sent a lot of stuff to testers in the last couple of weeks, and that really is because I've been just trying to get as much done as possible. And as I was saying before, it's not like with the dungeon where I can send you a level. This is all one level, the land. So once the encounter tables are done, I'm going to send those out to the testers. There's quite a big document, so it's going to take a bit longer than I thought to test for those people to look through those particular documents. And I know some people will get back to me quickly, but they need to be out there with a good number of people to sort of get a sense of what people feel about those particular tables. And then I'll be working on the ancestry tables that kind of come after those tables. So even if I know, tables after tables. So we're looking at a really thorough process. But it's nice in between it all to sort of dive in and add in some work on the new ancestry, like Tarian. So I spent quite a large portion today working up the ideas for the Tarians and how that might work. So we're going to look at that in a minute. And then we also have the Realm Wealth sheet, which this is just a working document for the moment, but it's designed to tag on to the character sheets, and this will allow you to manage your realm more thoroughly, and it opens up a couple of things that we'll talk about in a minute. Nothing like a nice table and a glass of wine. Absolutely. So we'll have a look at the Tarians. Does the image look darker than it should? That's what I want to know. Does it look dark or strangely dark? Because we want to try and get the image good. I just had 3 deaths in the family, so it may take me a bit longer to get back to. Oh, damn! That's not good. Jesus, take your time. Whatever you got to do. That is shocking. Hope you're alright, my friend. Right. Okay, so let's have a look at the Tarians first. Here we go. So this is another. Hi, James. Let's try and reduce it down. We can see that there. So, James says, hi, I'll try to listen in, but also have to do some other stuff right now, so I might not pay as much. Well, if I shout, James, if I need... yeah, no, listen, be there and lurk, that is absolutely fine. So what I thought I'd do is go over the Tarians, go over the sheet, and then maybe update you up on a few other little things in my life, like how I'm getting on with the Blood Bowl figures, and and anything else like that might be on the cards. So we'll have a little look. I doubt you'll need me specifically, but yes, I should respond if you call. I should be in front of the computer most of the time. Fantastic. Well, look, I applaud lurkers as well. You know, people can come in and lurk. That is absolutely fine. I believe lurking is the technical term for someone who doesn't interact on the chat. Okay, so Tarians. Let's just read you a little bit about the background of the Tarians here. So, the Tarians are descended from the Caladians, which were the foundational humans in the world. Yep, lurking, laughing. Hey Jim, how you doing? Double Jim. Double Jeopardy Jim. Hi Toby, it's me and my twin. So just to update everybody on the situation. Do you remember last time we were talking about the Seymour family in Canada? Now, we thought we had two Jim Seymours, a James and a Jim. Two different addresses, and but in the same town. And we were like, now this is very weird. And we had to assume they're different people because basically it was a different address, a different email, and we thought, right, so there must be like a Seymour family over there in that town, maybe. No. It is our Jim, the one and only Jim Seymour. He gave us, he had backed it twice or sent us the address, his work address and his home address and different emails. So, yeah, something like that. Joe was dealing with it. And, yeah, very, very, it was funny. We laughed. We laughed for a good 5 minutes. Tarians kind of reminds me of the God Butcher from Thor. Huh. Yeah, I haven't actually seen that film, but I think I've seen a clip. The one with two families, yes. Ha! Indeed. So we sussed him out. He came out and admitted it in the end. So yeah, we're not billing him twice. Okay, so the Tarians, descended from the Caladians, the foundational humans in Corodine. The Tarians are turquoise skinned. Now this little phrase here I might adjust. Water subsisting humans. Now they don't live in water, but they are but they live around water. So they have towns on boardwalks, and they're boardwalks around watery areas, but they can go in water and they're not really affected by it so much. Their skin is quite tough, so they don't suffer the same kind of degradation that normal skin does. So it's kind of like that. They live across Adrumar, which means water region in the ancient tongue, mainly in the Tarn outlets, but also in the Chiega swamp and the Fangal bog. They were once a desperate people who fled to the region to escape Braxiver the Blistered. They know not the landscape they found themselves in. They knew not the landscape they found themselves in, and fed upon the many succulent water weeds of the outlets, unaware of their magical properties. And I've talked about this before. The magic is in the plants and the rocks in Corodine. It's kind of in the rocks, and the plants have kind of drawn it up through the soil almost. It's kind of being in close proximity has affected the plants. So these particular ones are conscious that these water weeds were not poisonous and that their crops would not grow in the waterlogged region. So these people have moved to this region. The Tarians settled and built their platform towns across lakes to fish and harvest the waterweed they now called Madiga. That's what I was deciding. What's that? Water adjacent. Yeah, I know. I have to play around with that little term. But time revealed to them something unexpected. As the decades passed, their skin began to change. It took on a turquoise tone and became more rubbery, tougher and smoother. Their veins rose to the surface as if the texture of magica in itself. It allowed some to draw oxygen from the water for short periods. Many stopped eating the magica, worried about these signs, and moved further afield to the Chiega swamp and the Fangle bog to escape its grip. Many stayed at rivers in the tarn outlets and embraced the change. Water oracles, wizened elders of the Mitad villages, were gifted visions of Kaladir and crafted new rune stones that imbued water-based powers. A rarer few were born able to breathe underwater, and they spoke of Hicho Agubar, a man who had become a god and merged with the very waters of the Tarn outlets. The Tarians are cautious people, but those who live on the outskirts are more welcoming. They know their lands are hard to penetrate from the outside, so have constructed bulwarks in some areas, yet guard these, for the water of the region is much sought after. Okay, so we've got like this species. They've been changed. So this is the third species. So we've got 3 key species that have been changed based upon their environments, creating like a different ancestry, a different species of human. Well, some names are common enough to be shared. I know my order at another company. Got mixed up with someone else. Yes. It was those meddling kids, Jim says. Reference. Water. Hang on a sec. Did I miss? No. Hire a Tarian to go through the sunken swamps. Well, they may well be a good ancestry to play something like the sunken swamps, because there were flooded rooms. So let's have a look at their abilities. And I'll put this up here just for a minute to get a clearer picture. So the background, you can be 3 types. You can be a clam digger. You get +2 shift against creatures in water. No, there aren't hirelings at the moment. That is something that is going to come later, I feel. I feel like that's going to be like a whole nother thing and probably quite complicated. But I will definitely be looking at doing that at some point. That's always appealed to me. Followers, like in Talisman, say, for example. You can be a water oracle. So this is your background. Can cast Swamp Lung once per dungeon level. You can be a net crafter, +1 to precision checks. And the basic stat modifier is +1 discipline. So that's your kind of, you pick one of those and then you get the +1 discipline anyway. Adjustments. Cannot use any hand-related armor. Cannot be soaked. Cannot use any fire or lightning-related magic. Cannot use herbs apart from Malaco leaves. When drinking potions that heal +5 hit points. Can go above baseline. When searching soaked areas, +1 to treasure rolls. Any fire damage is +1 damage. Taken. Starting scroll is a scroll of Swamp Lung. And then your permanent favour is in Tuneric, the murk, as in the murky depths, if you get what I mean. So we've got a few. I've tried to theme it so that it makes sense. Looks like it should be blue-skinned. Yeah, they have turquoise skins. Doesn't mean they cannot make her remedies. Well, they can't use them. So they can make them and sell them or give them to someone else. So sometimes it's a situation where you might find someone, you have to heal them. You can mix herbs and heal them. You just can't use them because their skin is different. They can't take oils or creams, has no effect on their skin. But chewing malacca leaves doesn't have any effect on them. So I mean, there isn't any reason why they can't chew malacca leaves because you just put them in your mouth and chew them. Note, should be lightning, not... yes, thank you. That is a good point. That is a very good point. Let me just note that down. It's going to be... This is before editing, so I haven't had time to send this to the team as yet. So this ancestry can be used now in your dungeons. So you can take that and just use it now. Give it a good try, and yeah, you can give them to the constable as Jeff says there, and see how this character plays. It's designed. We've got 3 variants that kind of take advantage of all the stats, if you like, and then the humans are coming. They're going to have kind of almost like category ancestries. I don't quite know what I'm going to call it yet, where there's slight changes based upon location. So desert, mountain, and then maybe homeland, heartland. So we'll see. I'm going to do slight little tweaks for that. They won't obviously be as extreme as these ancestries, because the kind of the basis, always the basis for the characters was a human basis, if you like. So that's where the standard, the common comes from. So all these other ones are based off that standard. So we'll just have to see how that goes. And yeah, so we'll test these out. These can be changed. We have the Almas, which we've published before, and the Paradisai. So they all have different advantages and disadvantages. The Almas is probably slightly tougher, and then so yeah, we'll see. And I know that some people have run these through dungeons, which is fantastic. So if you do run a Tarian through a dungeon, let me know, or put it on the Facebook group. I put a post on the Facebook group with this and on the Kickstarter. So yeah, so that just, it brings a little bit difference to the game, which is fantastic. So we have that there. That is the Tarians. And that will, of course, be included in 2D6 Realm. But I'm also going to make these available separately. So, because I feel like this as a stretch goal and something that's appearing that can be used in 2D6 Dungeon anyway, aside from 2D6 Realm, I feel like we can make this aspect of it available elsewhere. And it has been. So people have been able to get their hands on it, which is fantastic. So, and then I wanted to have a quick look at another thing that we're developing at the moment. This is a it's kind of something that's going to change a little bit. It's going to be called Realm Management, I think, rather than Realm Wealth at the top there. And oh, I see you have Dark Future on your bookshelf. Do you have White Line Fever expansion as well? I don't actually. It's funny, I was looking at it on eBay today actually. Occasionally I look it up. I've got the rules for it, but I haven't got all the stuff that goes with it. So I didn't get the box, but I've got the rules, so I can use that. That's my original box up there as well. It's one of my favourite games, Dark Future. I love it. So, possibly half ancestries, like half Tarian, half Almas, for example. Not sure if that would be too tricky. I guess that there may be some ancestry that people may have mixed with some other form of ancestry. I don't know. I feel it's a little bit fishy to say half something when you've still got another half there. I kind of need to think what terminology I would use, because if the realm ledger, maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's write that down. I like that. That's a good strong word, ledger. So so with this, as you can see here, we have got a larger section for managing money. Copper coins, they have a small use. Okay, so they will have a little bit more of a function in 2d6 realm, whereas they don't have much function at all. But they're really kind of like, if you find 2 copper pieces, you feel like that is crap. They're kind of designed to have the bad option. It's to emphasize a poor find, if you like. And you got your gems, and now you got your plot income here. Now, some of the buildings will give you an income. So, for example, and this is only, I assume a lot of people are going to build in their realm and make their realm. But you don't have to. You can just take it out there and have a bit of an explore across the land without building anything or generating any income. But if you do decide that you want to build the realm, which I'm hoping lots of people will, you can build plots like farms. Okay, for example. Now, when you build a farm, I'll read you the little farm entry here. And how we go about this will all become clear at a later date. But this is just to give you a bit of an idea. So if you build a farm, and that can be arable, pastoral, or mixed farm, you may stumble across a herd of cows, and you can sort of round them up and pen them up and put a little building and think about some supplies, some food, and you can then build a farm. The opponent's bonuses would be difficult too. Yeah. Could you add gold, silberman, and copper bars? They're just all coins. Final sloth. You do find stuff, and it just has values in those coins. So you can find jewelry. Say you might find some jewelry that's worth 30 silver coins. And it because it's silver. Sometimes I give it in silver values. So yeah. So you got. I'm reading across on the screen over here. An arable farm. So it has a HP. Each building has a health point value. Is 12. Its size is 10. It costs 30 gold coins to build a farm at the moment, and the prices may change a bit. You get a plot rank modifier, which indicates how much tax you pay on that building. It requires 2 workers, so you need homes or manors where workers will live. And there is a particular type of plot requirement, so fields, grassland, meadow, shrubland, or hills. And the benefits provides an income. Now, HP works differently for farms. You add 1 HP per round as normal, so that indicating that someone's working on the building and building it. But the building is never considered damage if HP is lost or removed. For every HP you remove, down to a minimum of 2 HP, you gain a gold coin. Okay, so you're reaping your harvest in a sense. I figure I'll want to do anything and everything that is possible in the realm. That would be cool. I'm sure lots of people will, and it's going to be fascinating because I don't get time. As much as I test it out in little bits, I haven't had time to sort of spend like days expanding out a massive realm over a series of maps, with lots of living buildings at the moment. That's where the testing is going to come in. We're going to see exactly how effective that is, and whether we need to implement any other kind of management type rules. So with the same, and then you can build a fishery as well, and a farm, as I talked about there. So there aren't that many that bring in an income as such. There is a tavern you can build, so which will bring in a little bit of income. But then there are some special buildings as well. So you would write that on the realm ledger, and you write the plot, because each plot has a number, and then the income from that plot. And then at the end of each turn, or whenever you decide to affect that particular building, you can get your income. Yeah. So that's kind of where that's coming in there. Now, that may change a little bit, the layout of that. But potentially, one of the most exciting things about the realm is you're going to be able to tailor the use inventive usage to create decor and improvements in your realm. So if you come across some banners or something, you decide to put them up, or you find some gravel or some planks, and you decide to build a boardwalk, or you can beautify your realm through using the items you find, like you do in the dungeon. So it's transferring that same principle across to realm from dungeon. So inventive uses. But as you explore, you will also be faced with things that will create decor and improvements, or something negative, eyesores and atrophy. So your wellness will be affected by that. So it goes up and down. There's a certain level that you need your wellness to be at, so that people don't start leaving your realm. So there's a kind of like a management aspect to it. Now, as you're exploring, you will encounter, let's just find it on here. Let's have, so an example of, say, an atrophy would be, yeah, so for example, abandoned road encounter table. You have, as you move down, you discover a stinking sludge, a kind of a bubbling bog, and you have to add this to your atrophy. So it's an atrophy you write into the area. So it's like a negative aspect, a negative feature in your realm that will affect your people there. So if you write it in the atrophy, and it gets a -1 to wellness, but you can also get bonuses to wellness. Talking about the minus anyway, if you fight a creature in your land that isn't destroyed, so if you find a creature on the land and you don't kill it because it's, say, too powerful, that then becomes an atrophy as well. So you get a -1 for that for every creature that's in your land that you haven't killed. So if you end up with a load of creatures which are still alive in your land, because you can flee from creatures in these encounters, unlike in the dungeon, because dungeon's about 4 elements, and with this land you can sort of step back and manage it a bit more. If you've got a creature that is dead, is still alive, and you've had to flee from it, then you get another -1 to your wellness. And ultimately, if you're managing a realm where you've got like loads of creatures living in different locations because you haven't been able to kill them, No one's going to want to live in your realm because of that. You've got to be in charge. You've got to do something. So if you've got a more powerful creature on your land and you can't kill it, either you're going to have to find some way of doing that, maybe getting some magic or gaining more levels, because that would take longer. You then go and fight that creature and get rid of that atrophy on your land, and you can help manage it. And the atrophy affects the morale of your workers, and they will leave. And then they can't work your buildings, and you can't build your fabled armor, fabled weapon, your legendary armor. So, which is like one of the goals to get to the legendary dungeon, which is coming up into the year. Once we get past this, once we get past doing realm and get this all sorted and figured. So, yeah. So this is let's have a look. What else have we got on here? Let's have a look at decor, some examples of that. A magnificent shrine, a standing stone, the Caladir monument found in the wilderness, a sign, the Slug and Mallee, beautiful decorated pub sign that you found, for example. So there's some kind of mini spoilers, sorry, but you probably forget those. And those things you can find within tables and then add to your realm. And of course you can create your own things, like, or festivals or shrines, and put them into your realm, and that has a positive effect on the people there. And in that way you can kind of tailor your own settlement and start to create things in your own way, in theory. So this is kind of where I'm going with this. Fantastic. And we've got Caladir favour points down there. You probably see that. So I've put that on the realm ledger, the Caladir, because Caladir is much more about the land and overland, and she is like one of the subterranean gods, and you can call favour from Caladir. So that's an important point. Originally, when I'd written the lore for Caladir, I had written her kind of out of the world a little bit, but I've slightly adjusted that so she does have a bit more of a presence. But the world is largely sort of it has a secular outlook, but the subterranean world is much darker and has the six gods that we all know and love from 2d6 Dungeon. So those aspects are there, which is fantastic. So that will be one of the sheets to manage that goes into your realm. Hopefully that's not too much. I mean, I think with anything like this, your first iteration is always a bit more complex, and then you can kind of smooth it out a little bit and maybe get rid of some of the baggage, and it makes it simpler but still involved. And you can tell when you play a game that something maybe was once complex and it has then been simplified, which makes it better. So and I think that's an important thing about when you're designing games is, is it too complex? You've always got to keep asking yourself that question. Nigel, good to see you. Welcome in. So that's good. We have had so that finishes up that kind of section. We have had some excellent coverage recently. Rob's Tabletop World, Rob Oren, he has done a couple of videos, which is fantastic. It's got some good reach, and we've got a couple of other YouTubers who are going to be putting videos out regarding 2d6 Dungeon. It's feeling that momentum, So, and people are sort of picking it up as it gets noticed and growing our community. So we are getting more people involved in delving into the dungeon, and then in a couple of months, escaping the dungeon into the realm and beyond. And so that is exciting. Has anybody got any questions about any of that stuff before we have a little bit of an aside and have a look at some of the models that I've been putting together? Before I do that, you can probably see them over there. Now, Facebook group is up to 2.6k. That is so true. It's fantastic. I've seen new people come on all the time, trying to engage and kind of encourage, because they're showing some amazing maps as well. Is there a limit to the property you can own? Not really, no. No, there isn't. And there is in the sense that if you can't pay your taxes, then you will lose your land. So the limit is your money, basically. If you don't have enough money, then you will lose it. And I think that you will see the goals in a sense. You want to build your armory and start to forge your own weapon and your armor. That's kind of like one of the goals. And you can build an alchemist, and you can make stuff so you can go down to the dungeon. And it may be that you want you have a goal that you want to do the dungeon, do the layers, and you can use the realm to supplement those journeys. So you've got your homestead, you find more gold in the land, buy better armor, go down into the dungeon and become a legend. I mean, there is, you can use realm in that way if you want to. And then there is going to be a whole bunch of stuff about the legendary dungeon and gaining legendary weapons. So and the armor, and you forge. I'm not really going to go into that now, but there's like a system that is built in. Are there repercussions to not paying, or do you just lose your property, or do you have an encounter with the authorities? That is a really good question. So I've got a little bit here. I did write it down. It's probably best to read it. Taxis. Let's have a look here. One turn represents a month. Every month after round 6 of the turn, you must pay taxes, the total for which is found on the plot log and building manifest. After you pay taxes, roll on monthly events. Minister of Silly Walks, make the tax collector a monster. The high actuaries are the tax collectors, and some of them are monsters in a sense. They're not very nice people. Yes, tax collector boss. Yeah, it is basically that. I've wrote it down here somewhere. The document is 77 A4 pages at the moment. So, I mean, it's pretty big. Where is it? Trying to find it here. Paying taxes. Here we go. If you cannot pay, then you have to pay an extra gold coin each turn. If you cannot pay again, then you lose one plot or plot area. Its ownership passes to a random landowner. And you can roll for that one. There's a table for that. The same landowner will continue to claim land from you if you still cannot pay your taxes until you have only your homestead left. So if you can't pay, you begin to lose plots, and there will be a mechanism by which that happens. So we're looking at pretty much you lose control of different pieces, different plots. There's like a minor penalty, and then the plots go. So, and then to get those back is much harder. And when you go into a land, you can try and claim that land, and you'll find out whether the land is owned by anybody else, and that means that you kind of have to check. But some isn't, and some is, and you can try and claim land from other landowners, or go to see the High Actuary, and they will make a decision on whether you can reclaim that land. No option to go Robin Hood on them. Well, there may be. To become an outlaw would be tricky because you're trying to kind of fit into the respectable image of an adventurer who's a hero, in a sense. I think that there should be a kind of an anti-hero type version of the game, but at the moment this doesn't incorporate it, unfortunately. But it's definitely something to think. Hopefully. Oh, what the hell? Hang on. Let me try and get the stream up again. How's that sounding? Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me try and get the stream up again. Ah. Yes. I'm back. Let me just check my sound settings. That's fine. God. It just went out completely. It's bizarre. Very bizarre. I don't know why that did that. It wasn't the usual where my computer messes up. Sounds good. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah. So I don't remember. I think we kind of largely talked about what I needed to talk about. Those little updates. It's just basically working on the tables, getting that done. And you're talking about the anti-hero. Yes, that is definitely something to think about. But let's get these basic rules down. We've got loads of stuff to come in the future that is going to be exciting, and I'm also excited about UK Games Expo. We're going to have a big, quite a big stand for us, and we're going to have a dungeon set up, if you like, and try and make it all stand out. Should be good. John Ross, how are you doing, my friend? Yes, maybe future. That might be something that kind of like a little rule edition that I put out there. So we can do that. What's the expo? So in the UK, our biggest games conference or exhibition is the UK Games Expo, and it's based in Birmingham, the NEC. It's the largest exhibition centre in the country, and it's right in the middle of the country, and sort of anyway, probably a little bit further. I don't know. It's pretty good, and it is in June. Yes, Dark Realms 2d6. A 2d6 Dark Realm. I get it. I kind of hadn't clocked. I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, maybe too close to the bone. So yeah, that's fantastic. So I was going to give you a little bit of an update on how I'm doing with the Blood Bowl. So I don't get time. So I got Blood Bowl at Christmas, and I was kind of like, right. I did the unboxing, which is you can see back on a vlog, and I had a look at some of the stuff. So I got some of the sprues out, and you can see over here. That's what I was saying. Over here we've got some figures lined up, and you've got the acrylic stands there. I've got acrylic stands. These are cosmetic stands I saw in a store, and they're designed for you to stand your makeup on, but actually they're really good for standing figures on. They're 3 tiers and very effective. So I got a load of sprues in a box. Okay, it's got a few bits and pieces there. I got a load of sprues. Oh, just dropped the figure. So there are lots of sprues like this, with all the bits on. Jason, good to see you. And Blood Bowl. So I'm getting in this mood, and it's been 20 days virtually. 19. What is it? The 19th tomorrow, and I was like, will I get any time to do this? I'm like determined to do a bit of figures, put a few figures together, stick them together. So look at this. How many pieces there are? Why do they break them up into so many different pieces? All these figures. I don't. Why? Why is there? Right. So there's like an instruction sheet. Okay. And you can see here all the bits you got to stick together. Okay. On this sheet. I'm like looking at this. Oh my god! I mean these guys here. All these bits. You got to look at this. Look at this guy here. What on earth? Right. Whew. So anyway, I've started to stick a few together. I was going to show you what they are. Yeah, this is what I thought. So I thought I'd stick some together, and then maybe I'll even paint them. And so I've started to put a few together. So we've got the ogre here. There he is. See him? If they came put together, then Games Workshop will not charge you for the glue, primer, brushes, and paint. The thing is, right? I don't know whether Games Workshop. I don't buy the glue from Games Workshop. There he is. He looks pretty cool, doesn't he? Look at it as a bit of. How complicated is that? All those different sections, right? So I thought what I would do is a little comparison from the old to new, yeah? So you got this black orc here. There it is. Look at that. Pretty intense. I decided to leave a few bits off as well. There. And this guy here, he's the biggest guy, I think, in it. Some massive. There he is. Right, so you've got him, this guy. Right. Anyway, so we've got this ogre here. which we just looked at already. So I've only managed to put 3 together in 20 days. That's the time I get. I don't get hardly any time. But these are the 2. This is the old 2nd edition Ogre coming up, and the new one I just showed you. Okay, so these are the 2 here. In fact, I might just take these off here. Take those off. Take that off as well. Oh, no, leave that on. Yeah, here. So, right, here we go. So, we've got the 2 ogre types there. One is quite a bit bigger than the other. Right, and then you've got this guy here. Now, weirdly, 1 per week, you might be able to actually play by next Christmas. Yeah, I know. I'm keen to play. This guy here, he's a beautiful sculpt. He's got a lot of character, but I do prefer the old one. This is my original figure. Look at him. There. So much simpler. And then this one's really funny as well. These are black orcs, but this is the original blue orc you get with the 2nd edition Blood Bowl, and then that's the new black orc. Look at those. Isn't that hilarious? I love these old ones. These aren't my original ones. I picked those up recently. But I just think these are just like pawns. They don't have the kind of the narrative that something like that has. But I really love these ones still. I think these are still fantastic. And there was just 16 of those. There wasn't any other different types. You had different colour bases to indicate the different types of player. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that little thing with you. The little window into trying to do a bit of modelling, bit of gaming. You know the way it is. It's not easy. Yeah. So guys, I think it's a shorter stream this week, and we've had that technical hitch. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for the moment. And then next week we'll have some more updates. I'll be putting stuff on Facebook, and that type of thing. Again, there's always the option of me playing a game as well at some point. Too complex for my liking. I kind of agree. I mean, painting something like that, it's going to be a nightmare. These big old models, that's going to take ages. I'm up for the challenge. So guys, take care. I will catch up with you very soon, and hopefully we'll have the land plot tables done, and then that's stepping into the next phase of testing, which will be exciting. So that's good. Jeff, I'm going to send you through hopefully another character or 2 soon if I remember. It's all the other things I'm trying to remember. I will try and remember that. Thanks for chatting. Good night. Thanks, Bubba. Guys, you take care. Jim, if you're still in, Joe's going to email you because there was still slight confusion over your order. Just keep an eye out for that. Okay, guys. You take care, and I will catch up with you very soon. Take care, guys.